get a lot of questions about the workouts that I do. Pretty much I do the basics. I've been doing the basics for almost 30 years, so there's nothing fancy here. Pretty much anyone with a gym membership could replicate this exact workout. Obviously the weights that I use are going to be a little bit different than the weights that you use because I've just been doing it for a long time. But the technique, the exercises, all of those will be great examples. This is one of the very few lives that I do, so if you do enjoy it and want to see more of them, please leave questions, comments, give it like, share, because if people don't enjoy it, then I'm probably not going to do them very often because they're kind of a pain in the butt to set up. But first we're going to start out with squats. Back squats are absolutely my favorite exercise. I'll just start out warming up and then I'll talk to you in between sets. We're just going to start out with a few warm-up sets here. I'll talk through the first warm-ups because I can kind of do that with a lighter weight, but essentially set up just like you were setting up for a heavy set, even though it's a lighter set. Sit back, try to keep a neutral spine position, go down as deep as you feel comfortable going. And the first set, I just like to really work on nice, slow, controlled reps, going through a full range of motion. Honestly, the first set is often the hardest just because you're getting your joints and muscles warmed up. Usually I'll do around 15 or so reps the first set just to get things warmed up and loosened up. Okay, you'll notice that I'm not using safety clamps with this. I would recommend that with heavier sets. But just the first few warm-ups, I'll probably go without them. Then walk the weight back in. Add a little bit more. I usually don't rest during warm-up sets. I'll just go straight through them. When we do get to working sets, probably do a minute and a half to 3 minutes, depending on how heavy it is. I usually do 3 or 4 warm-up sets, getting progressively heavier. Pretty much set up the same way every time, regardless of how heavy or light. Find a neutral spine position, squeeze the shoulders back, lift off. We'll go up again. All right, the clip's on now. This will probably be the first working set now. This is 4:55, just basically waiting until I catch my breath. I don't really time my rest period, just kind of go. I feel, but in general, like I said, minute and a half to 3 minutes, depending on how heavy the set is. This is a great spinal unloading exercise because you are adding a lot of compression onto your spine when you're doing squats. You don't have a barbell, you can do this on a kitchen counter at home, also feels really good. Same exact setup as with the lighter sets. That was the first working set. Usually I'll do about 3 to 5 working sets. I do like to stay standing during my rest periods. One, just to walk around a little bit to keep my legs loose. And two, it helps you catch your breath a little bit easier when you're standing versus sitting down. Opens up your lungs, allows your diaphragm to work a little bit better. I also drink a lot of water during my workouts, usually about a quart or 2 during the workout. By the way, if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'll try to answer some questions either between sets or I'll get back to them at the end of the workout. I usually use about a bench press width apart on setting up the grip. one more heavy set, then start to drop down. Usually on leg workouts, I want to do about 3 different exercises, but a lot of repetitions with the first ones, either a squat, a hack squat, a leg press, a deadlift. Those are kind of the lean movements, and then some other smaller movements after that. So the squat will make up the bulk of this workout. Safety-wise, I pretty much always use safety catches when doing any type of squats. I see people do them in the middle of the room, and that just scares the heck out of me, so I'd rather have a safety catch. So now we'll start to go down on weight, pyramid up, and do a little bit of a pyramid down. Take 50 pounds off for this set. That's down to 405. Again, kind of use the weights that are comfortable for you or that you're able to do. So pyramiding up and pyramiding back down part way. We'll shoot for about 10 repetitions on each of these. Usually coming back down, I won't rest quite as long as the weights start to get lighter again. Probably go one more set of squats, then move to the next exercise. By the way, these are Nordic weightlifting shoes. I've been using these for about a year. I never really used weightlifting shoes prior to turning 41. I'm 42 now. But I found they do allow me to get a lot deeper down into the squat. Didn't necessarily notice that they allow me to lift more weights. I'll put my regular gym shoes back on for this last set so you can kind of see the difference. Weightlifting shoes transfer more weight to your quads. If you don't have them and you have stiff ankles, you do tend to get a little bit more of a glute dominant squat. Trunk will be a little bit more bent forwards and less upright. Essentially, these have about 1.5 inches heel in them. So it's like you're standing with your heels on a weight plate, but obviously the weight plate moves with you. So you can see they kind of downslope like that. These are not my normal, just regular athletic shoes. These are Ultra Torns. They're zero drop running shoes. So the heel and the toe are the same height on these. So you're basically lifting from a flat position. And again, that does require a lot more ankle mobility. So if you have stiffness in your calves, you'll find it either harder to go down or you'll have to lean your trunk forward a little bit more. And the other nice thing about weightlifting shoes is they have a Velcro strap that goes over top. So you don't have to worry about shoelaces coming untied and tripping over them, especially if you're using some heavier weights. Everything's tied up well now. Do one more set with this. So that was the squat part of the workout. Next, we'll move some weights over onto the leg press. Primarily, I'll use the leg press to do calf exercises on squat days rather than doing leg presses themselves. I have to adjust the camera angle here. By the way, for anyone who's interested, the squat rack and home gym I was using was the Ritkeep PMAX 4750 right over there. I'll put a link to it down in the products if you are interested in checking it out. This is another one by Ritkeep. It's the leg press. It's the A10 leg press. Pretty good there. Now I'll move the weights over. I do like to check on the leg presses before getting the weights loaded on. Make sure it's set at the correct height. It's really a pain in the butt when you get it all loaded up and it's not set right. While I'm changing this over, if anyone has any questions or comments about leg exercises, let me know. For people just coming in right now, this is a Halloween leg workout doing live. Just finished up doing squats. Now we're getting things changed over to the leg press for calf raises. So just be another moment before we get everything set up. Adjust the camera just a little bit here. That's probably a little better of an angle. Okay, and we're back. You can't see this necessarily from where you are now, but these bottom adjustments right there, I like to set those all the way to the bottom on leg presses. That gives you the fullest range of motion available. So the seat is as far back this way as possible. And again, most commercial gyms have all the equipment that we're going to be using in this video to some extent or something similar to it. So this is going to be leg press. This is probably one of the most popular gym exercises among physical therapy patients that I see. Essentially, you put your feet up on the platform. We'll go through one set of leg press just to go over technique, and then primarily do the calf workout that I mentioned earlier. So unload the weight, unlock, and try to bring it as close back towards your chest as possible. You notice even with the seat all the way back, your thighs do kind of hit against your chest at some point. You spread your legs a little wider and turn your knees out sideways into external rotation. That allows you to get a little bit farther down. So I would recommend doing that. But you want to keep your lower back flat on the backrest of the machine. You don't want to allow it to arch too much. You also don't want to go so far down that it rounds off the back. So just go back and forth through a range that feels comfortable for you. And do as many reps as you can until you get tired. This is just basically a burnout set now after the squats if you're just joining in. That was the first exercise of this live leg workout. It'll be the primary one. Now after finishing this leg press, we're going to go to calf raises. And do calf raises and then hamstrings. And lock the weight back in. I like doing calf raises on a leg press machine because it allows you to get your heels back over the bottom of it, so you get past just neutral dorsiflexion. Gives you a little better range of motion. You get a nice calf stretch, and it's a little easier than trying to balance a weight on your back doing a standing calf raise. Seated calf raises are also nice. When you have your legs out straight, you're working both your gastrocnemius and the deeper soleus muscle at the same time. Unload. And go down as deep into dorsiflexion as you can, and then press up. Your calves tend to be a little bit more endurance muscles, particularly the deeper soleus. So generally, repetitions are a little bit higher on these exercises in the 15 to 20 range. But again, just do as many as you can until you get tired. And it is nice to kind of get a stretch down to this bottom position. Just make sure that you're still able to lock it back in when you're ready to do that. Push back up, turn the stops back in, and lock it in. That's the first set. Do about 4 sets of these. Like I mentioned before, usually with legs, I'll primarily just do 3 exercises. So squats, the calf presses, then we'll do a hamstring exercise at the end. With upper body workouts, I do tend to do more exercises, but fewer sets with each of them. So usually some sort of a chest workout, like a bench press, a shoulder press, a horizontal pull like a row, a vertical pull like a pull down, and then 1 bicep and 1 tricep exercise. So typically 6 different exercises, about 3 sets of each, so 18 sets total. Here, did probably 8-ish or so sets of squats, including all the warm-ups, and then 4 sets of calves, 4 sets of leg curls. That's around 16 or so. So the total volume is the same, even though it's fewer overall exercises. And let's face it, leg exercises are just harder. Nice stretch at the end here. Grab some water. And I'm probably drinking less than I normally do during a typical workout. Typically, I'll go through about 1 to 2 quarts of water per workout. I'm not drinking a little bit less because I'm talking more. Normally, I probably don't say 10 words during my entire workout. Again, we'll shoot for another 15 to 20 repetitions. Just basically as many as you can until you get tired. It's more important that you reach close to exhaustion than necessarily the exact number of repetitions you do. It's these last few repetitions that really count. When you feel like you're about at an end point, you probably have another 1 or 2 in the tank. As long as you can still breathe okay, you're not hurting, like physically, joint pain, back pain, things like that. Do 1 more of these. While I'm resting here. By the way, this is the Rick Keep A10. You can fold it up like this. You can actually take this back pad off and place it up there and turn it into a hack squat machine. So it's kind of a 2-in-1. Back in for the last set. There we go. Put it back down. One more set of calf raises here, then move to hamstrings. So that was the calf raise. Next we'll move here over to do leg curls on this machine back here. hamstring exercises all alternate between a Romanian deadlift and a hamstring curl. But today, since I did a lot of heavy squats, I'm going to just do a leg curl rather than doing more weight through the spine. But for people who don't know, I share this a lot on the channel. A Romanian deadlift is basically a stiff-legged deadlift where you hold a weight like this, push the hips back like that, slide the bar down your legs, then drive through the hips and hamstrings, pulling it back up like that. Hips back, hips forward, hips back, hips forward. And again, on heavy squat days, I'd rather just do an isolation exercise for hamstrings. So we'll do a seat or a lying hamstring curl in this case. You can do hamstring curls either seated or you're sitting on a bench and you're pulling the weight down towards you like that. The resistance is on the back of your calf. And that's okay, but I tend to like the lying ones better because your hamstrings are both hip extensors, so with the Romanian deadlift and knee flexors. And when you're lying on your belly with your leg out behind you, and you pull all the way up, it does put your hamstring in more of a shortened position. So I'll do that over here. Put some weight on. This leg curl and leg extension machine from HBO actually can do both lying leg curls and seated leg curls along with leg extensions. We're going to set it up in leg curl mode right now. That ankles will go under the pad and then lie down like this. And you just pull your heels up that way. So that wasn't set right. That was nukes, by the way. Everyone makes them. Someone commented on the channel the other day, are you human like everyone else? Yes, I am. I make some mistakes and you just saw it. So by adjusting that resistance arm, it doesn't go up so far, it doesn't land on your butt. Probably the 10 to 15 repetition range on this one as well. Now, a lot of leg curl machines that you see at gyms have cables and plate loaded, and the exercise works more or less the same, regardless of your resistance mechanism. You notice rest times with leg curls are significantly less than some of the more intense exercises like a squat, because it is more of just a one muscle group exercise, the hamstrings. Rather than with a squat, you have to stabilize your whole body along with working your quads and your glutes and even your hamstrings to some extent. That was the second set. And for people just coming in, we're just now finishing up the live leg workout. The first exercise was a squat, around 8 sets or so of those. Then we went to the leg press to do calf raises, Did one set of regular leg presses as a burnout and 4 sets of calf raises. Now we've done 2 sets of leg curls so far. We're going to finish up with another 2, but that's the basic workout. It's nothing fancy, just a matter of being consistent with it and progressing over time. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I've been working out almost 30 years now and doing for the most part the same basic exercises. Pretty much people who are good at anything, whether it's working out or business or whatnot, you just do the basics really well and then do it over and over and over again. So we'll get to the last 2 workouts and the last 2 sets here. By the way, if you've been watching this for any significant portion of time, thank you for tuning in for the whole workout. People just coming in if you'd like to see more lives like these. I don't do them often, and they are kind of a pain in the butt to set up. So if you are enjoying it, leave comments, leave questions, give it a like, share the video, and I'll do more of them. If people don't like it, then I probably won't bother doing them. All right, last set. So that was the live leg workout. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a happy and safe Halloween.